I started this YouTube channel about 2.5 years ago, posting my first video in August of 2022. Since then, I've posted new videos almost every Tuesday, and I've been doing live streams every Friday for a while. I just recently reached 100,000 subscribers, and I thought I would make a video about what's changed, how it's affected my life as a professional illustrator. What did I say I was going to talk about again? Although I'm certainly a YouTuber at this point, I didn't start the channel with that goal in mind. At the time, I had a newborn child, and I was really having a hard time adjusting my schedule to fit this new dad life. Before that, I was very willy-nilly with my schedule. As an independent freelancer illustrator, you can make up your own schedule, and sometimes I'd work really late, sometimes I would not work during the day. Also, when you have ADHD, like myself, you sort of gotta work when your brain is cooperating. But with a new child, I had to really focus on working when I had the opportunity to work. And it was making it feel like I had no time. Certainly time was more limited, but it just felt like there was literally no time at all. So when I decided to start the channel, I was trying to think of different things that I could do to sort of offset the need to take on as much client work and somehow allow myself to do more of the stuff that I want to do, like making, things, merch, shirts, prints, just making art for myself and for you all, for the people who like my stuff. So as I thought about ways to do this, I started thinking about the other sources of income that I had. One of them was Skillshare. I had been teaching classes on Skillshare for quite a few years, and when I looked at amounts of, income that was a little bit separate from my client work, I was like, well, this one seems like it could get pushed, and that would certainly help. And when I looked at other people who are successful on Skillshare, I noticed that a lot of the top teachers also had YouTube channels. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense because I can talk about the things in my classes and then point people over there. So that was the initial goal. Doing a daily drawing project for over 14 years taught me that the key to sticking with anything, at least for myself, is consistency. So when I started the channel, I knew I wasn't going to do anything unless I had a schedule or, some sort of deadlines. So I committed to posting a new video every Tuesday. And I gotta say, this was a lot at the beginning. I did not have much video editing, filming experience before starting the channel. I had done the Skillshare classes, but it was a bare minimum. And so much time would pass by between each classes that each time I did a class, I would sort of have to relearn the whole thing to, familiarize myself with filming setup and, lighting and editing. And, the quality of those early classes wasn't good, but, the content was at least pretty good. What am I trying to say here? I'm trying to multitask, do a little vlog action for you. I'm cutting out some labels for the members of my Patron tier, the Piascik Club, where you get a new sticker sent to you in the mail every month. This month is this sticker. It just came in the mail. I got these from Sticker app. They're deadlines and things make you creative. These are exclusive to my Patreon, so that's something. Which reminds me, when my channel first started growing a little bit, I'm trying to think of the numbers. I have some notes here to let you all know. So I started in August of 2022, And then in December of 2022, my channel was monetized. So what that means is I had to have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers and like 4,000 watch hours within the last 30 days or something like that. So that's when I got monetized. That's when things changed. That's when I got rich. Just kidding. When you first get monetized, it's not really much help. It's just kind of cool that the channel is starting to earn money. But at that point, it's so minuscule, it's not really helping in any way. But as the channel started picking up steam, I just assumed that the subscribers were people that had been following me on Instagram, because I had been building a following on Instagram since Instagram started. And I think, when the channel started, I probably had 50,000 subscribers or followers on Instagram. So I remember doing a poll on the channel saying, hey, how many of you came over here from Instagram or have been following my work for a while, or you discovered me on YouTube? And to my surprise, almost everyone was new. They had just found me on YouTube. And that was crazy to me because I just never considered the fact that there could be like this new audience. Like I figured I had been building that audience on Instagram for 10 years. And it just seemed like a slow build. And the fact that there's all these new people on YouTube was pretty crazy. And on top of that, just the audience and community that I was finding on YouTube was just so much more supportive than anything I had on other platforms. And that's probably the biggest thing that has changed my day-to-day and my career, is not necessarily the YouTube stuff. It's the supportive community, because it's led to, a dramatic increase in sales for my shop, which has allowed me to make more of like my own stuff and stuff I want to do. Like, for example, this silly book, Skulls and Lulls, which is just a collection of the drawings that I liked the most over the past, couple of years. But, I can do fun little drawings and turn them into books, turn them into prints, turn them into stickers, shirts. What I'm doing right now is shipping orders, because I actually get orders now. In the past, my shop sales were pretty stagnant. Granted, I didn't push them that much or talk about it, really. But, it was always there. And I was like, oh, well, I guess a shop is not for me. But now it is. Now it's a big part of my income. And that was something that wasn't the case before. I'm not printing out mailing labels for these stickers because I can just mail them with a stamp. But I don't want to have to write them all out, so I set them up, printed them on label paper, but now I'm going to have to peel them and stick them to envelopes. So that's what's happening. So what was I talking about? Yeah, so there's this big build up to getting monetized, and so much excitement around that. And I think it's more of just like reaching that point where you're like, oh, okay, cool, I have a monetized channel. But it wasn't earning anything that was making any sort of difference for quite a while. Even now, at 100,000 subscribers, it's not a life-changing amount of money. I think my YouTube ad revenue, it varies between $2,000 and $2,500 a month, which is not nothing. That is great for sure. But for me, that's not like going full-time as a YouTuber income. But when you pair that with things like my Patreon, and then sponsored videos, and did I say shop sales? That's a big one. Affiliate stuff, it starts to all come together as like a more cohesive thing. And although I'm not doing YouTube full-time right now, I'm still doing illustration work. I guess technically I'm at a point where I could be a full-time YouTuber. I mean, I certainly make more than I did when I had a normal salaried job as a designer earlier in my career. So yeah, I mean, technically I could be a full-time YouTuber now when you combine the different other things. But I don't necessarily want to stop doing illustration. It's been my career forever. It's a dream career for me. I just like to be way more selective in the projects I take on, which is a luxury to have at this point. But I was talking about, it being hard work before. I struggled. I still struggle to get all the videos done, and I have help now with editing and other things. But still, it's tricky. I have only been ahead a handful of times throughout the journey. Shout out to Marcus, Nick, Brad, Justin, and Amy for being in this sticker club, this new sticker club that I just launched. These are the first adopters. So in addition to the monthly sticker club, there's a monthly video hangout, which is a good time. It's a good time. Oh, there's another one, Diana Lisa. Shout out Diana Lisa. I appreciate you very much so. My computer just went to sleep with my notes for things I wanted to talk about, which is not helpful. You know what I need help with? I need a sticker peeler person. So one thing, I was talking about shop sales and things that have made the biggest difference financially. And one of them was these digital tools and digital products that I've been making that a lot of the times were just things that I was making for my own work that people kept asking about and I made available, like my vector presets for fresco, or my shapes packs with the vector texture, or my lettering grids layout stuff. All of these things were just things that I was doing to make my workflow easier. This is the worst. And turning them into products was kind of eye-opening for me, because a lot of you have been really into it and into them, and they've been selling regularly. And selling digital products is great because you don't have to ship them. They just get delivered digitally. So these tiny ones for my mailing address, the return address, very hard to peel. I need to get a new stamp made, because one thing that I've had to do now that things have picked up steam is get a P.O. box, because I can't be putting my address on all these orders. This is an ASMR vlog where I'm peeling labels. Is that what we're doing here? So, as a YouTuber, I'm trying to stay on top of things, what is working and what's not working, because I'm still learning a lot. I still have videos that kind of flop, and I'm not trying to change everything about my channel just for the views or just for YouTube growth, because that would not be great for my core audience, and also I wouldn't enjoy doing it. But, I still like to figure out what's going on. And apparently these unedited vloggy type videos are doing really well right now. And that would be great, because editing is a lot of work. But I don't know if that's really the case. Let me know in the comments if this kind of video should not happen anymore, or if you're into the more chill vibe. hanging out while I'm shipping some orders. What do you think about that? I need to put some cards or something in here to support this. I also need to get some smaller envelopes for these sticker club things. This is all, logistic things that I need to solve now that I got a sticker club. You feel me? I gotta sign some books for these orders. Boy, okay. So we got, this one is for Lee. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate you very much so. We got his mailing label. These are the stickers. I'll find some books here. I also need to figure out some, more standard shipping situations because, I have these cool padded ones. I don't have too many of these anymore. These were printed with Sticker Mule, and I don't like to use Sticker Mule anymore because they're, I wasn't down with their gratuitous just promoting and posting about Trump. Like, he's a garbage man. No, like, I'm not down with that. And like, what? Like, why do you feel like you want to do that? What am I talking about? Anyway, these books don't even fit in here very well. So I need to find some books that are some packaging that is more supportive of these books. And really think about that stuff, because when you are selling products on a regular basis, you gotta be prepared to ship them. Thanks, Sticker Mule. You ruined it. Obviously, Sticker Mule's not the only company that makes these things. But that's where I got these made a while back. Good talk. Is this good talk? So let's, you want to hear about some interesting stuff about channel stats and subscriber counts? Because I thought this was pretty interesting. Let me tell you. I mentioned first video in August 2022, and then monetized in December. And then in April, I reached 10,000 subscribers. So that was a big jump. When I started the channel, I thought it would be great if I could get to 10,000 in a year. And that happened much faster than a year. And then in November, I was up to 25,000. So hold on, I have some stats here. Okay, so it took 2 months to get to 1,000. It took 6 more months to get to 10,000. And then 6 months later, I was at 25,000. And then 6 months later, I was at 50,000. So it kept doubling. And then it took eight more months to get to 100,000. But that's, hey, I'm only at like 61 on Instagram. And that took like 10 years. So I feel good about that growth. I mentioned earlier that YouTube I wasn't really full-time YouTube yet in terms of making a living. But I'm terrible at numbers and knowing what's going on in my career and life. Apparently I just adapt, and I'm unorganized is what it comes down to. But I broke everything down into the different categories. And when I think about all the things and how they're sort of interlocked and related, for example, there's the YouTube ad revenue, which I talked about, ranging between $2,000 and $2,500. That on its own is not sustainable income for me. I guess if I lived somewhere where I didn't have a mortgage, or if I was like younger, didn't have kids or something like that, that is some sort of income. On top of that, though, there are things like sponsored ads, which, that adds to the equation. I'm going to put this pie chart up so that you know what I'm talking about here. So Patreon is another chunk of that. And if you see, currently Patreon and sponsored ads sort of are like half of the YouTube ad revenue in terms of their... But then affiliate marketing is a big one too. And this is a combination of things like, I don't know, the Amazon one is pretty small, but sometimes it's $200, sometimes it's $100, but that's just when people use my link to the stuff that I use and recommend in the description. That's where that comes from. The big chunk of that is for like the stuff that I use for my work, like the brushes that I use, like the Retro Supply Co. stuff, and then like Sketchboard Pro and AstroPad Dartboard, that kind of stuff all adds up to a good chunk. And then my shop sales, I tie into this whole thing because before my YouTube channel, my shop sales were they were just once in a while. I didn't talk about them that often. I just had it sort of linked on my website. I didn't have that much in there. But before YouTube, I wasn't getting many shop sales. It was pretty stagnant. And then Skillshare is what led me to start this channel. And if you look at this now, it's getting eclipsed by YouTube stuff. But I'm still incorporating this as part of it because I do feel like YouTube has bumped up my Skillshare stuff a little bit. So all of this stuff together is really combining into a sustainable income. I'm still doing illustration stuff when I can, but I'm definitely more selective with that stuff, as I said. I think there's something weird to me about the idea or like my identity, because like I think of myself as an illustrator, and I am an illustrator, but like I guess I'm becoming more of a content creator, and that feels a little bit weird to me. But I think it's all about making stuff. One thing that just occurred to me is that in my previous career as a graphic designer, I did that daily drawing project, and after 2 years, transitioned to full-time illustration. And it's been a little over 2 years since I started this channel. So apparently, when you do things consistently and you work hard at them, 2 years is about how long it takes. At least in my data, it's 2 for 2. The other funny thing about it is I did not plan for that to be the case in either situation, and it didn't even occur to me. Like I never thought about being an illustrator. I was just posting drawings, not thinking that it would be something that I would get work from. I thought maybe I could make some shirts or something. And then with YouTube, as I mentioned, I started it to bolster my Skillshare classes. So clearly, I'm not smart enough to see these connections. I think one of the things that makes me a little bit uncomfortable about the idea of potentially just being a content creator is I want to make sure that I don't just make tutorial type videos, and those are the ones that have done better for me so far. I don't know why, I just sort of want to do more things where I'm making stuff and, I don't know, doing more videos about it. Like they could be tutorial adjacent where I'm talking about my process and doing this thing. I just don't want to have videos where it's like, this is how you do this thing in Adobe Fresco or whatever. You know what I mean? What types of videos do you want to see from me? What types of videos have been your favorite? What do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of? You want to see less of this video where I just ramble about nothing? I don't even know if this video is cohesive. However, to answer the question, yeah. Was there a question? The point is, yes, YouTube did change my career as an illustrator. But I guess it's like, making these videos allows me to make fun stuff, and shop sales are up because of it. So, and it's fun. It's fun to make the videos. I just don't want to get burnt out doing the videos because they're a lot of work. But if I can make some of them a little bit more loose, a little bit more just kind of making stuff and talking about that process, that would be ideal. I don't know. Good talk? Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye.